Okay, good. Does it show recording on your end?
Yes, it is.
Awesome. Hey guys, it's Jenny here. Welcome to our weekly Wednesday webinar. That's a mouthful. Again, my name is Jenny Swisher. I'm the founder of Body Electric, and I've got Shawna Potts with me here today. She's one of our diamond coaches, and I'm so excited to have her here to help share with you things that are working for her. So this is obviously recorded, so you guys aren't going to be able to ask live questions, but obviously Shawna and I are both on the team page. So if you have questions about anything that we talk about today, feel free to reach out to one of us or comment, in the string below the posts and ask any questions pertaining to what we're talking about today. We're focusing a lot of our effort today on the topic of 3 Lives Club. Shawna is a rock star in the 3 Lives Club department, so we're going to be focusing a lot of our conversation today on that. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and start by asking Shawna to just give us a little bit of a background. I want you guys to know, sort of where she came from, not only what she does for a living and what her life looks like outside of Beachbody, but also how she got started with Beachbody. So Shawna, I'll just let you roll with it.
All right. Well, thanks, Jenny. First of all, I started my Beachbody business well, let me start by introducing my family first. My husband, Brian, we've been married for 13 years, and he's a police officer. We have 2 children. Aiden he'll be 10 next month, and Ellie will be 8. I just cannot believe that. But they are both very active. Aiden is my athlete. He is on a traveling soccer team as well as a traveling baseball team. So we are spending our evenings on the soccer field or on the baseball field. And on the other nights, we are with Ellie at dance. And she's also in a American Heritage Girls Club, which is kind of like Girl Scouts, but it's based through our church. We are all very involved in our church, so that takes a lot of our time as well. And I'm also a 2nd grade teacher. So I know there's some teachers out there, but that is, it's a very big job. Takes a lot of my time, but I'm obviously making it work with my Beachbody business. When I started Beachbody, I was in a challenge group with Jenny. We were doing P90X, and I absolutely loved the challenge group. I loved everything. I was engaged. I, posted in there every day, and I was in there for probably 4 months. And then I decided to quit, and it was simply just because of money. I kind of felt guilty about spending the money on myself. Now I know different, but I knew that I wanted that back in my life because I had a huge passion for health and fitness. And I was in Hilton Head actually on vacation, and Jenny had sent me a message. I love to run, and I was posting my runs on Facebook, and Jenny had approached me about being a coach, and I said, well, I don't know enough, to be a coach. And she, kept pushing and kept pushing. And after many conversations and a few more no's, I finally agreed and said that I would try it out. But things didn't start out the way that I wanted to. I joined actually the end of September. And right after that, my husband, I didn't post anything in September because I wasn't confident. I didn't think I had what it took to be a Beachbody coach. I didn't think I knew enough. And then in November, my husband became very ill, and he had to go through a major surgery, which really set me back. He was very sick and put him in the hospital for 12 days. I was busy still teaching, taking care of the kids who could not see their dad during those 12 days. But I tried to make the best of my time. When I would go to the hospital, I would sit and read personal development. I would read things about the business so that I knew, after everything had settled down, where I needed to go with it. And so the personal development was huge for me because I am not a very confident person, and I never have been. But thanks to Beachbody and personal development, I feel like I've come a long way. So after all of that, I, just decided that I was ready to set my game plan and get things going. My husband was one of those that I had to convince. And I had sold Mary Kay in the past, and although I had made some money, it was something that was very hard for me because it took me away from my family. And I had to spend a lot of money to keep the inventory on my shelf. So he was kind of, doubting, and I understand why he was doubting. But I was determined to prove him wrong.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can remember all those no's pretty clearly. So, okay, great. Well, I think it's cool that Shawna shared with you not only her personal life, but also, how she kind of got started with the business, because as some of our newer coaches are finding out, sometimes you're really excited about the opportunity and you're really excited to pay it forward. And then you go to somebody that would be fantastic, and they're like, nope, not right now. And while it can make you really discouraged, I encourage you, to never let up on them, because had I ever let up on Shawna, she wouldn't be here. So I think that's something really cool to know. And I think it's also, I feel like Shawna is by far one of the busiest people that I know. Like she's, she'll be messaging me on her phone, and she's at the baseball field, and then she's messaging me on the phone, and she's in Cincinnati at a Reds game, and then she's somewhere else. So she's everywhere at one time somehow. So I love that. I think, it's important to know that busy people make great coaches. And I think that if anybody tells you they're too busy, it just is a matter of their priorities versus their true schedule. So I'm going to let Shawna go ahead and dive in when it comes to 3 Lives Club. Just so that you guys know, I'm sure you guys saw my post yesterday, but I crunched some numbers on Shawna's business, and she achieved diamond. She started working the business, like she said, in January. She achieved diamond in under 115 days, which is a pretty quick time frame. And she can probably tell you a little bit about that time frame being slowly inched up as she went. But also, she's really been focused on 3 Lives Club. And I think, I think that it's her focus on 3 Lives Club that has led to the success of where she is now and where she's headed. So she's averaged, I think it's around 26 or 27 Success Club points per month since January, which is crazy awesome. And I know for sure she'll be a 2-star diamond by the end of 2015. So with that, I'm just going to introduce you again to Shawna and let her cover for you what I hope is the ins and outs of how she's able to do it month in and month out. So take it away, girlfriend.
All right. Well, like I said, I started in January. I decided that I was going to run my first challenge group. And for me, that was way out of my comfort zone. I think this is where the magic happens, is where you come out of your comfort zone, because this is where it all started for me. I hit Success Club in my first week when I started in January. And it's really funny because I remember you sending me a message saying, congratulations on hitting Success Club. And I put my pride to the side and said, what's Success Club? Because I hadn't even got that far. And so once I, got through that and understood what Success Club was and hitting 3 lives, I was determined to hit that each month, but I wanted to go above and beyond. So in my first challenge group, I did hit, I had 10 challengers, which I was very, very excited about. And I also hit Emerald in my second week. And then in February, this is the game changer. I was in on a February Cup team, and I was blessed to be on a team with some amazing women. Some of you are on here, obviously. But I am so glad that you guys came into my life, because if it wasn't for you guys, I would not have pushed myself as much as I did. But to work with people who are as passionate about health and fitness as I was, just opened the doors for me. I remember sitting on that Zoom call with Jenny and saying, what do you think it would take for us to win? Because, we were all new to this. We had no idea. And she said, 30, 40 points. And I remember us all just laughing hysterically, thinking, oh my goodness, are you kidding me? But, with all the confidence that I had, I said, let's do this. And everybody else jumped on board, and we achieved 209 Success Club points just with the 5 of us. And that was amazing. I ended that month with 50 Success Club points. So that's 25 challenge packs that I sold. But it's not, to me, it's not the challenge packs that I sold. It's not the commission. It's the lives that have been changed because of that. That's totally where it is for me. And since then, I've been able to, like Jenny said, have been able to, hit 20 plus each month. But I think the biggest thing for me and how that I hit it is, like I said, coming out of my comfort zone, but believing in myself. I think I've said it before too, that personal development has really, really helped me grow. I remember when I went to, or my husband and I were taking these classes, for him to be a better husband, I guess. Just kidding. But we each shared something that, what is something that you feel like your partner lacks that you feel like they could, improve on. And when he said to me, your self-confidence, I was kind of taken back, but, I'm glad that he said that, and he's seen a total change in me now. I also attended a You've Got the Power training in January, and there was a speaker, I believe it was Erica Buzzard that said it, but she said, if something's not working for you, change your mindset, change your life. And that really hit home with me because, in all this excitement of hitting Success Club and these challengers were coming on board, in my mind, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, where am I going to fit this in? I'm so busy. But I knew that I had to change my schedule, my daily routine, to make it work for me and also to make it work for my family, because I wasn't going to make it something to where, it was our time as a family together and I was sitting on my phone. I didn't want that at all. So I think if you can set your daily routine, it changes how you can focus. When I plan my meals, I plan my week in my business hours as well. So like during school, I got up at 4:30 in the morning and I would work out first thing. Yes, it was hard. It was very, very hard, but it was something I knew that I had to do. I would work out, and then after I worked out, I worked my business for about another hour. And in that time, I would schedule my post for that day because I would be at school and I technically can't write a post during the day. I would plan my post for the rest of that day or that night. I would contact my people through personal message or emails, informing and inviting. And then my personal development would be done on my way to school, because that was just the easiest to me. I would either do it, listening to a podcast on my way in, and or I would read a book before I went to bed, and sometimes I did both. But when I would check or work my business at night, it would be during my kids' practices, or I would stay up like an hour after the kids had gone to bed. And but I think a lot of it is setting goals. Jenny always posts on there how she sets goals each month, and she shares those with us, and I've been doing the same. I set a goal of hitting 10 lives every month. I'm always one of those, if you go big or go home. So, 3 Lives Club is great, 5 Lives Club is great, but I wanted to set it for 10, just because I feel like if I'm reaching more people, I'm going to be more successful in my business because I have more people to work with. Then it's also a goal of mine to reach 5 new coaches, or to get 5 new coaches. Another how I get all my is
I'm going to interrupt you real quick.
Sure.
Can you hear me? Sorry, for some reason when I start talking, it breaks me up. I want to I just want to kind of cover what you just went over, because I've been taking some notes and I think it's really great. I want to make sure people can write this stuff down as quickly as you're talking. So the one thing I want to call out so far is I think that there have been so far 5 main points that I think all drive home why Shawna is successful with 3 Lives Club. Okay, so that's the purpose here, is to really find out. We're listening to her talk to try to figure out, right? Like, what is it that she's doing that's making her successful? And I know, when I was a newer coach in this business and I would listen to other leaders, like other webinars, whatever, presentations, I was always like pen in hand, like ready to write down some sort of like magic trick that they were doing to succeed so that I could just duplicate that magic trick and make it happen for me. But what I think is so cool is that you're not really hearing anything new when you listen to Shawna. If you listen to any of our recorded webinars, the ones that we've done with 8-star, 10-star, 15-star coaches, they're all saying the same thing. And I think so far, the 5 main points I want to drive home that Shawna's mentioned is, number one, her mindset changed. Being a part of that team cup was something for her where she shifted her mindset from thinking that 3 lives was hard to saying, no, 10 lives is going to be my new standard. Okay, so I want you guys to think about that yourselves. Like, what is your current mindset? Is your current mindset, is your brain telling you that 3 lives is just really hard to do? Because if you're telling yourself that, it's going to be really hard. So I think that that's one thing she's mentioned that's really important. The second thing is, I don't know if you caught this, but she says she's attended training. She attended the You've Got the Power training. She's been a part of the Team Cup team. She's attending Summit next week. She's attended Super Saturdays. She's attending the events, tuning into the webinars that we have. She's doing as much as she can to plug in, which is leading to her being constantly engaged, which is leading to her own accountability. The third thing is her schedule and her discipline. The reason she's achieving 3 Lives Club is not because she's doing anything magical or what she's saying to people. It's literally that she keeps a schedule. Most likely, I have a guess that her schedule looks a lot like, follow up with people, reach out to so-and-so, meet with my coaches. It all circles around the people that she has in her life at any given time. And then, of course, last but not least, her personal development. I love that she's mentioned the personal development so much already, because I really think that, I always say, I know personal development is what got me to where I am, but unfortunately, it's the only part of my journey that I can't teach to you. You have to go on it on your own. So I'm glad she's mentioned that. So I just wanted to interrupt you real quick and just make sure everybody's writing this down, because I think what you're saying is, it's not rocket science, but I think a lot of times we're waiting to write something down to wait for that magic moment. But I think you're giving us a lot of good nuggets. So just keep going.
Okay. Something that I do, that it's on my to-do list every day. On Facebook, we talk about it being our storefront, and how we, how people look at our Facebook is how they perceive us. And so I make sure that 2 to 3 times a day I am making a post. It's not always about challenge groups, but usually just because I've seen like how the likes come in and things like that, I normally post in the morning something that adds value or some sort of positive, encouraging quote. Like I said, I do that in the morning. And then in the afternoon is when I start sharing about either Shakeology or about a challenge group coming up, or something that I'm excited about Beachbody. And then I post about my family as well, because Beachbody is not my life. I keep my kids, that's been like my most likes. If I post something on my Facebook page and it's about Beachbody, if my kids are in the picture or my husband, I always get more likes. I don't know if it's because I tag him in them, but, I feel like when your family's involved, then, they see that it works for everybody. I also have a like page, and in my like page, I stay away from inviting to challenge groups. Just not necessarily not inviting, but not putting it out there saying, hey, message me, join my challenge group, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I post about them, and then, I still post my positive, encouraging quotes in there, and I also add them. Oh, sorry, I lost my page. If I find something that, gets a lot of likes, I will boost that post. And I know the other day I boosted a post that had my son in it, and I had so many likes, and I actually had 2 people message me, and the 2 people that messaged me had kids that were interested in how I made it work, with my kids and stuff, and how, like, my meals, and how I plan my meals around with my kids and how they eat them and everything. So that's kind of what I do on a daily basis. What I've done for you guys, and I don't know if this will be helpful at all, but I've kind of broken down my points each month, like how many challenge packs that I've ordered or that I've sold, and like where they're coming from. When I figured it out, 2 to 4 of my points usually come through customer leads. If you are not an Emerald, you need to get to Emerald, because these customer leads come to you once you hit Emerald status. These customer leads normally come in when you don't, or they order the program, but they don't have Shakeology. So that, you can encourage them with that. The last 2 that I got, they were on a one-time shipment of Shakeology, and so I entered them into the challenge group, and they're so 2 to 4 of those points each month are my customer leads. 6 to 10 of my points, like I told you before, my goal is to hit 5 coaches each month, and 6 to 10 of my points usually come from coach upgrades with challenge packs. I think that right there is huge, because when you have a coach, like I offer the $40 upgrade, but I don't encourage it, because I think it's a waste of their money. When they're already getting the Shakeology, they're getting a program for $10. So, I always say, let's go with a challenge pack, because you're only paying $10. And if they're kind of, well, I don't really want that program, I offer to buy it, because I know that if it's one that I don't have, or it's something, that I can use in the future.
Yeah, and actually I want to break that down for people so that they know exactly what we're talking about here. So okay. What she means by that is, let's say that Shawna has, I'll just say maybe she has 5 customers currently in our 21-day fixed challenge group. Okay, so what she's doing is at the very end of this 21-day challenge, she's going to them most likely, and she's saying, hey, your second shipment of Shakeology is about to come. Are you interested in upgrading to a coach account to save you 25% on your Shakeology so that you can continue using it and continue with our group? Obviously, some people, want to ask more questions about the business. Some people just want to save the money. So no matter what, she's obviously scheduling time in her calendar. She knows when their orders are coming due. So she's reaching out to them. Now, let's say that she has 3 of those 5 say, yes, I want to upgrade. Okay, so let's say they want to upgrade, and they come to Shawna and they say, yes, I want a coach account. What do I do? What she's talking about right now is brilliant, okay? And this is what I hope that you'll take away from this as well. As most of you already know, you only receive 2 points per person. So if Shawna's my customer and she orders from me, I get 2 points from her challenge pack. But if she orders another challenge pack from me, I don't get any more points, because I've maxed out my number of points that I can receive on one customer. So if she has somebody that wants to upgrade to coach, what I do and what she does, and which I hope you'll start doing, is she upgrades them with a new challenge pack under a new email address. So most of the time people have 2 email addresses. I know I have one business and one personal. Most of the time people have 2 email addresses. If they don't, it's really easy to ask them to create a coach email. So I usually tell people that they can create a really easy, coachshawna@gmail.com email address. That way you can generate them a new challenge pack as a coach. And that way, like she said, they're putting that $40 toward a program versus putting it toward just the coach fee. So that's exactly, I just wanted to break that down so that you guys know that, because I've been getting that question from some of our newer coaches, and I wanted to make sure you guys know that's what she means. So basically she's capitalizing. She's earning 2 points on that person as a customer. She's earning 2 more points on them as a coach. Does that make sense? Cool. All right. Sorry, I just wanted to break that down.
No, that's okay. And then let's see, 4 to 5 of my points were coming from my invites or my forming. What I do when I have anybody inquire about Shakeology, about a challenge pack, I write their name down. I don't know if you can see this or not, but I write their name down, and I call these my potential customers. And each of them that are highlighted are the ones that I feel like I have really a good feel with them. I think that, eventually they will order a challenge pack. And then I also have my list of possible coaches. They are challengers that I've had in the past that I want to upgrade. Some of them, yes, as discount. Some of them I think would make great coaches, working it. And I also write notes next to them and just, put what program they were interested in. And then that way, say they couldn't do it this month, but in 2 months down the road, that challenge pack came on sale again, then I would offer that to them again. And I also put a little money sign next to them if they say that money is the issue, because I try to, if any of my people here have the money symbol next to them, they receive the budget form, because I feel like it's so doable. I was the money person as well, but when you see the benefits of it, it's totally worth it. Mm-hmm. So that's just kind of how I keep track of my my invites and my forming. And I usually send those people a message, usually at least once every 2 weeks or so. And sometimes it's just a, hey, how are you? I liked your post on Facebook. It's not always about Beachbody, because I don't want to be that pushy person, and I know that they see my passion through my Facebook post already. So I don't want to push that. I want to be their friend before I try to get them to be on my team or to be a customer of mine. And then 6 to 10 of my points also come from my posts. Just simple interest in me posting about a challenge group or about Shakeology. I count 6 to 10 for that. And then usually 2 of my points will come from my like page. And the thing that's funny about my like pages is usually people that I don't even know. And they're people that normally when I get them, it's when I boost a post. It's not normally when I do that, because I find that it's the same people that are liking my post each time. So when I boost it, it goes to all of their friends. So I think that's, it's really cool to meet people that, I don't even know who they are, but they just saw my post through the like page.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so let's recap what you've said in this second portion here, because I think it's really cool too. I think it's powerful to make these highlight points. So if you really look at where Shawna's points come from, they come from customer leads, they come from coach upgrades, they come from her like page, and they come from inviting and forming and building relationships, right? So what can we take from that? Well, you can only receive customer leads if you're an Emerald coach. So that's just another added benefit of becoming an Emerald coach, is so that you can get to the point where you're receiving customer leads. Coach upgrades, she's doing a really great job, I think, of obviously keeping track of people. So I know that's a weakness of mine. I used to really rely on my Facebook inbox. And, every week I would go back through all the messages in my Facebook inbox. And that's not a very effective way of keeping track of your relationships. So I now keep a people journal. I have a book where at the end of every day when I sit down or lay down in bed to read my personal development, I actually write down the names of the people that I came into contact that day. That way I can keep those people really at the forefront of my mind. I want to help them in the best way possible. Like Shawna said, it's not always about selling them a challenge pack. It's just about adding value to people and being their resource for health and fitness when the time comes. So you got to be an Emerald to get customer leads. You've got to be keeping track of people to know when you should even ask for them to make the upgrade to coach. And you've got to be making an active effort of inviting. Go figure. The 3 vital behaviors include inviting. And so Shawna's not sitting here telling you she's got all these people just like flocking to her. They're ringing her doorbell. They want to know how they can order a challenge pack. She's actually, making the effort to build relationships with people, to message people on a private level, and to invite them to her group. So if the talk about the like page, she's been talking about creating a Facebook like page. It's also known as a business page. If that sounds like really foreign to you or really technical, it's not. It's not, and I highly suggest that every coach have one. I used to think, don't worry about it until you're a diamond coach. Now I say the sooner you want to start one, the better, because obviously a lot of our coaches are having success with it. So if you want to check out a resource about the like page in particular, Amy Porterfield has some really great free podcasts where she talks all about how to set one up and how to analyze it and everything else. So, but here, I want to make sure that I don't, she, out of her, let's see, she just gave us a total of 21 points. So she just broke down where her 21 points come from. Only 1 to 2 are coming from that like page. So I don't want you, if you're a newer coach, I don't want you really focusing hard on that, spending all your time worrying about how you're going to advertise and market to people on your Facebook like page. You should really be focusing on building relationships with people, being passionate in what you're putting out there in your public posts, and then, obviously just working on your communication skills and how you talk to people. I think that's really the key. So is there anything else, Shawna, that you wanted to cover?
I want to encourage everybody to join a Team Cup team.
Yeah, absolutely. So
that is totally where it took off for me. When you have a team of people that are all going for the same prize, but it's for the people,
yeah.
Then it's powering.
Yeah, you know what? I really do attribute our Girls on Fire Team Cup team back in February. I attribute that to a lot of our momentum that we see now as a team, and I guess you could say sort of, I don't know what you'd call it, like the team culture, I guess, the team vibe that we have is very, came from that Team Cup. So like Shawna said earlier, we sat down on the very first night, we decided to have a Zoom call, and I've led Team Cup teams in the past, and usually it's one of those where I set a Zoom call and nobody even shows up. So Chris and I are on the Zoom call together and nobody shows up. So this was the first Team Cup where I've had everybody attend the first Zoom call. So you got to make sure you got people that are willing to show up and participate. But everybody came on, and I remember hearing at Summit last year, they had the Team Cup winner. She actually just spoke on Monday's National Wake Up Call. So if you did not listen to this week's Wake Up Call, I highly recommend checking it out. It's Emily Robidas. She came up on stage at Summit last year, and they asked her how many points their team had. And I don't know what the total was, but I remember her saying that on the very first night, she had a conversation with everyone about how everyone in the team needed to secure 50 Success Club points as a team. And so that was in the back of my head. And so I was thinking about that, and we have this Team Cup call, and here I am, the leader. I've led 10 Team Cup teams or whatever before, and I've got Shawna, Tara, Katie Kelly, and Kelly Copas. So 3 of the 5 of us, Shawna, Tara, and Kelly, were all new coaches. And here's Katie and I, and everybody's fired up. Everybody, Shawna comes into this like, we're going to win this thing. And I'm thinking like, whew, I just want you all on the Zoom calls. Like, if you guys can just be on the Zoom calls, I'll consider it a success. And Shawna was the one that asked on that very first night, what do you think it would take to win? And I love having team members who have that mentality. Like, what's it really going to take? Like, what's it going to take for me? She mentioned earlier, 3 Lives Club is a great goal, but 10 Lives Club means she's going to move faster toward her goal. So, being able to say to them, I think we need 35 to 50 points apiece, and have them write that down as a goal and carry on with it and show up for every call and engage every day, was a really awesome experience. And to end up in 8th place was even better. So, yes, I highly encourage everybody on this team to be a part of a Team Cup. I'm going to have more information on Team Cup stuff coming up. I think they're opening registration the week after Summit for the Team Cup. So we'll be talking more about it in the next week or so. So are you excited for Summit?
Absolutely.
Yeah, no. Are you bringing cowboy boots?
Absolutely.
Yeah, good. We got to get Katie converted. We've got some coaches that are a little shy on the cowboy boot.
I've seen cowboy boots with heels, so maybe she'll be okay.
Yeah, there you go. That's funny. Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Shawna, for taking time out of your day today and giving us that information. You guys, I think it's really awesome. I think you should listen to this again. There was a lot of information in a short amount of time. So we'll check in with you guys soon. I'm going to get cut off here, but thanks so much for tuning in. If you have any questions, tag one of us in the team page. We're happy to answer. Otherwise, 3 Lives Club should happen for you. Piece of cake. Change your mindset, change your life, create the daily disciplines, and get that personal development under your belt. So have a good day, everyone. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks.
See ya.
See ya.